but that doesn't guarantee that technique is designed to restore something, that you're trying to recapture.
Morning, Bill.
Greetings, sir.
I was wondering if you could comment on the use of forced inspiration rather than passive inspiration for activities that are basically just something like anything where you're just holding a position in order to reinforce expansion in a certain area. So like a dorsal-rostral expansion, just holding, or like a prone developmental. So my thinking is that if you use too much force, you may reinforce a compensatory strategy. But if you already have the normal mechanics, then that might be a good way to reinforce the adaptation, or to maybe even increase your lung capacity, athletic potential. So I just was wondering if you could comment on the use of forced inspiration for restoring movement or performance.
Okay. So I would much prefer to talk about performance than I would about restoring movement. Okay. So here's this is going to help you. Okay. So when I say tidal volume, do you understand what I'm talking about in regards to breathing? Okay. All right. So outside of tidal volume, I have forced inspiration and I have forced expiration. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Okay. Outside of tidal volume, if I'm forcing anything, am I increasing the amount of muscle activity to produce that outcome?
Yes.
Is increased muscle activity under most circumstances the method I would use to increase force or decrease force?
No, and well, to increase force.
Okay, so if I'm increasing force, am I reducing relative motion or am I increasing relative motion?
Decreasing.
Okay, so under any circumstances, if my goal is to restore relative motion, do I want to use a forced inhale or exhale?
Probably not. I've got a quick just a butt on that. What about like the diaphragm itself? If somebody's not very well connected to that, to the mechanism, could you do like, could you do something where they're like putting their hand on their stomach and then putting their hand on their sternum?
Yeah.
And then maybe getting them to just feel more air going down.
Absolutely. Okay. Absolutely. Because you're trying to teach them a way to monitor and to provide a sensation, but that doesn't guarantee that technique is designed to restore something, that you're trying to recapture. Right. What you're doing is that's part of your process to teach them something that will become useful. Right? It's like, this is what it feels like to put air in that space, but the way that you got air in that space is definitely not the way that you may want to do it every time. Mm-hmm. Right? So again, when you're teaching sensation, so like I will overpronate people in their feet so they learn how to do it wrong. I'm not doing that to teach them to increase relative motion. I'm teaching them to do that so they can feel, it's like, this is what weight feels on that spot, but that's not how I want you to get there. Mm. You see it? So I'm giving people sensations so they can learn. So what you're doing there is you're teaching somebody a sensation that they can make a comparison to, right? Which I'm totally cool with. Okay. But when the goal becomes identified, am I trying to produce force? Am I trying to recapture relative motions? Right? Then I have to respect how you're going to get there. And if you're, like I said, if you're using anything that would fall into the category of forced, you're interfering.
So do you think there's no arguments to be made that if you're actually getting more air in there, since there is more space in the body, there is something that you may be able to restore from that, just theoretically, because there's more space?
In what direction will you capture more space on a forced inhale?
I'm guessing internal rotation.
Well, I'm just saying, like, in what direction does the expansion occur in a forced inhalation?
Oh, outward.
So here's one. Sit up away from the back of your chair, boss. I want to be able to hear this too. Okay. I want you to take a breath in, a really deep one, but don't sit back against the chair. Sit up away from the chair for me. Okay. Okay. Take a deep breath in. Let me know. Give me a thumbs up when you get to the end. Now do it harder. Keep going. Fill up more air. Oh, love it. Did you see it? Did you see what happened? Did you see your shoulders?
I was looking at you. What happened?
Okay. Don't look at me. Please don't look at me.
Shoulders came up.
Yeah. Shoulders came up, neck got tight, head got pulled down. How about that? Did you think about that part? You actually pulled down on your head to pull your shoulders up. So that is an IR. You're absolutely right. That is like, it's IR, right? Is IR a compressive strategy or a expansive strategy?
Yeah, compressive.
Yeah, so you just compress the bejesus out of your neck and your lower back because you have to pull harder on everything that pulls air in.
So do you think that so if we're talking not about necessarily performance, but like hip or shoulder IR, that would have any merit as a strategy, or is that still?
So here you go. You might gain some internal rotation, but what are you going to sacrifice in the process?
External.
There you go.